I always like to give myself an hour to prep my smoker before I'm ready to smoke my brisket. Clean the firebox. Next, I light the charcoal and let it catch for about 20 to 30 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and clean them grates from our last smoke. I'm using an offset smoker, indirect heat cooking method. Seasoned our brisket with pink Himalayan salt and 16 mesh black pepper, and we let it dry brine for 4 to 5 hours. The fire is nice and hot and had time to burn off the starting fluid. It normally takes about 20 to 30 minutes to bring your smoker up to smoking temperature of 225 to 250. I like to use this ThermPro. It gets your chamber temperature and your meat temperature. On this cook, we're using mesquite wood, which brings a nice sweet flavor. All right, smoker's up to temp, up to 245. Lay it in with the point towards the firebox and fat side up. Now we maintain 225 to 250. These are the trimmings of the brisket. I'm going to cook it down to make tallow. So when I wrap it, I have extra moisture. These are also the brisket trimmings, and we like to make either chili or jalapeno poppers when these are done cooking. Now we hurry up and wait and hang out and maintain our fire. It started to rain, and it really became a fight with the fire and stoking it up to maintain our smoking temperature of 225 to 250. Looked at the weather app, and it rained for about an hour and a half. Very important to monitor chamber temperature and beef temperature. A lot of the skill comes from tending to the fire, just messing with the fire dampers, the sizes of the piece of wood you're putting in your firebox. So I'm gonna wrap this brisket about 8 hours into the cook, and what we're trying to do is set the bark and add smoke flavor to the brisket. So as soon as the fat renders normally about internal temp of 170 to 175. And once that happens and the fat is like jello, we will wrap. We had our fat rendered and our bark set at about 7 3/4 hours. So it's ready to wrap. I like to use butcher paper to wrap my brisket in, and that beef tallow, the fat, I've rendered it down, and I'm gonna use that as extra moisture to put inside the butcher paper as I wrap the brisket. So once we wrap our brisket, we are no longer taking on any smoke flavor. We're just using the fire as a heat source. So I'm gonna cheat on this one, and once it's wrapped, I'm gonna finish it off under the oven at 275 till I hit an internal temperature of the brisket of 203 degrees. After that, I'll wrap it, put it in the cooler, and let it rest for at least 6 hours. That's important, so it reabsorbs all its moisture and has time to cool down. Coming up, we got the grand reveal.
I hope it's juicy. It looks juicy. Ooh,
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Love it.
That.
Oh, make that jiggle.
I'm always a little apprehensive about how the brisket came out till I start slicing. But this one came out amazing, very juicy, tender, good smoke flavor. As you can see, it had a nice smoke ring, and it paid off. Monitoring the time and temperature. And Merry Christmas. These are the kids opening all the presents.
Okay, basketball ribbit. Julian.
You got it. Let me see.
Oh, wow.